I've got you under my skin. I've got you deep in the heart of me.
Unless you have been living under a rock, you have seen a tattoo at some point in your life. They are now very much part of mainstream society. Just as fashions have changed over time, so have the reasons for getting a tattoo. Tattoos have been rites of passage, marks of rank and status. They can be symbols of religious and spiritual devotion, and this just scratches the surface. Through time, tattoos have taken on more meanings, from biker tattoos to gang tattoos to jailhouse tattoos. This type of ink identifies who you are to others and shows where your loyalties lie. Another identification tattoo, which was not by choice, happened during World War II. Jewish prisoners were tattooed with an identification number, usually on their arms. The majority of tattoos today, though, are purely an individual form of expression. Oops, I almost forgot to mention the military's long-standing relationship with tattoos. As the song goes,
a sailor's not a sailor till a sailor's been tattooed.
Quick quiz! What is the earliest known tattoo? 200 years ago? 1,000 years ago? 2,000 years ago? Nope, you aren't thinking back far enough. In 1991, the mummy of a man was found in the mountains between the borders of Austria and Italy. On his body were approximately 57 tattoos, consisting of simple dots and lines. They started at his lower back all the way down to his ankles. Otzi the Iceman, as he is known, dates back to around 3,300 BC, making him over 5,000 years old and the oldest known example of tattooing. Tattooing techniques have come a long way. Early tribes used to cut designs into their skin. They then rubbed ink, ash and other agents into the wound. Other cultures used to use the hand tapping technique. Implements such as sharpened sticks and animal bones were used to tap ink into the skin. This practice has not completely died out. It is still used by modern tribes and to create certain tattoos, such as traditional Japanese tattoos, though nowadays needles and bamboo are used instead. But that was then. What about now? Quick quiz! Who invented the tattoo machine? Any guesses? Give up? Well, the basic machine was designed by Thomas Edison. You know, the guy who invented the light bulb. In 1876, Mr. Edison patented the stencil pen, a device meant for engraving. From there, Samuel O'Reilly modified Edison's machine so that he could introduce ink into the skin. The tattoo machine has developed more since then, going from rotary technology to what modern tattoo machines use today, electromagnets. A single-use needle is inserted into the tattoo machine. When switched on, the machine will move the needle up and down. The needle can puncture the skin between 80 and 150 times per second, depending on the settings used by a tattoo artist. The tattoo gun does not actually inject ink into the skin. It creates a small puncture wound about a millimeter deep directly into the papillary layer of the dermis. The insoluble ink travels down the fountain pen-like tip of the tattoo machine into a hole that is created. Most tattoo inks contain metals. The metals differ depending on the colour needed. That is all fine and dandy, but as we know, the skin is constantly renewing itself, taking approximately 4 weeks for cells at the stratum basal to reach the stratum corneum. In other words, to go from the bottom of your epidermis to what we see on the surface, and then be shed. If this is true, how do tattoos stay where they are put? Why don't they just fade over time? Well, to answer this question, we need to go much, much deeper. When the needle penetrates the skin and ink is deposited into our dermis, what it actually does is trick our body's immune response. Our immune system mounts a defense thinking an infection is coming. It sends out phagocytes in the form of macrophages, keratinocytes, and fibrocytes. What are phagocytes, you ask? Phagocytes are cells that are capable of swallowing other things, in this case, tattoo ink. Some cells are phagocytic all the time, such as immune cells. Others, such as keratinocytes and fibrocytes, are normal cells until an inflammatory response turns them into phagocytic cells. I promise this will all make sense soon. So back to our little immune soldiers. Macrophages are types of white blood cells. Their only job is to ingest foreign material for the immune system. Fibrocytes are cells that make up most of the connective tissue. They secrete collagen and other proteins. Keratinocytes are our epidermal cells. Everybody still with me? On the surface, a tattoo will scab, then heal in a week or two, assuming of course an infection or an allergic reaction doesn't kick in, but inside our skin it takes 2 to 3 months to fully heal up. Straight away, our body's first job is to stop the bleeding caused by the skin tear. After that, our immune system sends in its phagocytic soldiers. They then start to swallow up all the ink particles. If we looked inside our skin, we would see white blood cells converge on the area and see established cells in that area also attack the ink. So the immune cells come in and clean up the area. When they finish, they leave through the lymphatic system, which as we know is there to remove waste. But after the immune cells are gone, the keratinocytes and fibrocytes remain behind in their areas. So that is the immune system's job done. They have clocked off and gone home for the day. Now the healing begins. Our body needs to repair the tears in the epidermis, dermis, and basement membrane, the barrier between the epidermis and the dermis. Let's start with the cells in the epidermis. The ink-filled keratinocytes, being epidermal cells, will move through the epidermis like normal until they are shed. New fibrous tissue forms to fill in the tears. This fibrous tissue actually forms around the ink-filled fibrocytes, thus trapping them in position. At the 2 to 3 month mark, all the ink-containing epidermal cells are completely gone. All the connective tissue has grown back and the tears in the epidermis, dermis, and basement membrane have healed. The ink-filled fibrocytes are within the connective tissue to stay. There is no concrete evidence why some professional tattoos fade over time. One theory is that the phagocytic cells move lower into the dermis as time goes on. Homemade tattoos often look blurry. This is because they are done with a single needle. Extreme care and talent is needed just to get a solid, clean line. Homemade tattoos have a tendency to fade over time. This is because the person doing the tattoo has limited experience and knowledge. They can either place the ink too deep, going into the subcutaneous layer, or not deep enough, with the majority of the ink being in the epidermis. Skin reactions usually occur when the skin is sensitive to one or more of the metals used in the ink. Because tattoos do penetrate the skin, the risk of a blood-borne disease can be high if sanitary practices are not employed. Needles must be single-use and come in sterilized packages. Ink must be placed in special disposable cups. Technicians must wash their hands and wear gloves. Their work area must be cleaned before each client. During the tattoo, your skin must be wiped down constantly during the procedure. If unsafe practices are present, the person is at risk of getting a disease. Diseases such as hepatitis, HIV, syphilis, and even in some cases leprosy has been recorded. Tattoo parlors fall under the Skin Penetration Act. So, you have your now ex-boyfriend's name tattooed to you. How do you get rid of it? There are several methods, though none will return your skin to its pre-tattooed condition. Excision. This is the only way to fully get rid of your tattoo. This is the procedure where the tattoo is surgically cut away and then the skin is sewn back together. Dermabrasion. A small area of the tattoo is sprayed with a solution that will freeze that area. The tattoo is then sanded with a rotary abrasive instrument. This causes the skin to peel all the way into the dermis. Laser removal. This is the most modern method. Different colours of laser light are aimed at the tattoo. They then break up the ink particles so the body can clear them away. This is done without an anaesthetic, so it can be quite painful. It will also cost you about 3 times as much as your tattoo originally cost. More than one treatment may actually be needed to remove more colourful tattoos. Cosmetic tattooing. This is very similar to the tattooing we've discussed here. There are some slight differences. Cosmetic tattooing is done under an anaesthetic. It also does not penetrate as deep into the dermis. Over a period of up to 5 years, your permanent makeup will start to fade. This concludes the movie. Remember, the next time you see a tattoo, you're actually looking through the epidermis into someone's dermis, proving that beauty really is only skin deep.
I've got you under my skin. I've got you deep in the heart of me. So deep in my heart that you're really a part of me. I've got you under my skin.